So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our session this afternoon of the Corporate Career Academy. We are glad today to have Paul. Paul works for Upsec America and is a data scientist with over 8 years of work experience, having done in most of the industries. This session is very ideal for every student, irrespective of the course you are doing, whether you are doing a computer-related course, data science, they call it the sexiest profession of the 21st century. So we are glad to have him here. After that, we'll also have a discussion from Bob. Bob is also supporting students who want to further their studies in data science. He'll also be able to give us a perspective of the global perspective around data science and what opportunities are available. So I want to take this meeting back to Paul. Paul, back to you, and you can take it over from here.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining today. So this session, we would be just trying to give you a glimpse of the digital transformation and the data world. Considering that for last 5-6 years, there's a buzz across the industry about the so-called data scientist jobs, AI, machine learning, deep learning. So all these are buzzwords across the industry, and students and everybody across the globe are who are into the IT sector is pretty much very much acquainted, and they're also interested to learn. So this session would be to give you a quick a glimpse of what digital transformation is, and what does the digital technology stands for, and probably we'll try to show a quick roadmap of the journey for a data scientist, so that it helps you in preparing yourself. So that's the agenda. So let's quickly understand what is digital transformation. So we hear the term digital transformation all the time, and probably too often in today's world across all the industries and all the major platforms, right? So digital transformation is actually defined into 4 different steps. So any organization trying to do a digital transformation should go through or should have a strategy of certain steps. And to sum it up, these are the 4 steps. So the first step is the novel use of your digital technology, right? This digital technologies or solution enables you to be more creative rather than simply enhancing or supporting your traditional business model. So if we narrow down the sense, so digital transformation may refer to the concept of going paperless, or you are creating a digital business maturity, right? So digital technology generally stands for your electronic tools and systems, devices and resources that generate, store and process very, very important concept called as data, which is known as the data is the new oil across the industry, right? So the second step should be a business disruption. So whenever you are going into the digital transformation in business theory, disruption is something that creates a new market or even a new value network, and eventually disrupts the existing market, displacing all the established market leading firms, their products, their services, their alliance, everything. Step 3 could be your innovation. Now, technology without innovation does not go hand in hand, right? So innovation is a process by which a domain or a product or a service is renewed and brought up to the market standard by applying new processes, new methods, introducing new products, new services into the market. And finally, once you do all of this, you will be achieving something called as a transformation. Now, a business transformation is the process of fundamentally changing the systems, processes, people and technology across your entire business organization or your unit to achieve something that improves your business efficiency, effectiveness, your customer satisfactions and everything. So overall, we can say that digital transformation generally contributes to a cultural change within an organization that requires or that challenges the status quo, and organization starts experimenting without any much fear for failure. So 4 things or 4 things that comprises your digital transformation should be your technology, should be your data, process and your organizational changes. All right, so this is about digital transformation. Now let's quickly understand why digital transformation, right? So in addition to your innovation, customer satisfaction, your competition, your employee influence, all these things, there are 3 basic things why digital transformation is getting adopted across all the major enterprises. First, make better decision, make faster decision, and make smart decisions so that your business is relevant to the cutting edge technology. So placing the data and analytics at the center of digital transformation, the global world enterprise, is trying to make better decisions, effective decisions, and smarter decisions, which are all data driven. So enterprises today have access to enormous corpus or volume of data than ever before. Now, with the right set of analytical tools, these data are generally converted into valuable business insights that can be used to make more informed, quicker decisions. Now, we are leveraging AI, which is artificial intelligence based technologies to be the key in tapping this potentially big data, and innovations across data and data analytics are constantly buzzing, AI leveraged technologies. The second, effective reason is high end data security and protection. Now, one side, when you say that, you are increasing enormous corpus of data, what business needs is to protect and secure those data so that it doesn't get misused, right? So one of the biggest headaches for any of the major IT leaders is how to place more data at the edge of their network while keeping this data secure and protected, right? So this is an increasingly complicated task which requires rigorous enforcement and access, data compliance, shield your data from malware attacks and all these things. So it is essential that any progressive business implements a strong strategy to consistently save the data, as the more, considering companies like Google and Facebook, they are generating enormous corpus of data every second, right? So they have a better strategy to secure all our personal information, right? And the third would be everyone expects today's world faster and on-demand service. Now, today's customers, let's say be an internal or an external customer, expects the same kind of experience into the professional life as they have luxurious to their personal life with all the technologies, considering your Google Maps, your Uber cab booking and all those things, right? So business requirement is increasingly going and into the hybrid world today. The concept of on demand, which is provoking cloud services like AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, they are on great demand. So that's, certain reasons why businesses are transforming digitally so that, they can be more relevant to the industry in today's world. Now, when we talk about digital technology, there are certain subdomains which, we need to understand. First, at the very root is AI, followed by machine learning, intelligent automation, robotic process automation, which is popularly known as RPA, cloud computing, and then followed by UI UX design. Right now, let's understand what is AI ML in a quick, in a short brief. And I think everybody who are into the data platform or into IT services industry by now understands what is AI and what is machine learning, right? But just to sum up, so there are different point of views of defining artificial intelligence. Let's say you are asking a question to somebody who is a layman, what is AI? And you are asking a question to somebody who is a researcher, what is an AI? You would get different answers. So AI to any layman could be an intelligent entity created by human, capable of performing tasks intelligently without being explicitly instructed, capable of being acting rationally and humanly. But definition of AI to any researcher is different. So to any researcher, AI is the process to embed human intelligence and cognitive human behavior into machines to make machines more intelligent by incorporating certain set of algorithms that helps machines to produce results and, take smarter decisions without being explicitly driven. So that's what is AI and machine learning, which, and data science is considered to be the sexiest job in the 21st century. Intelligent automation and RPA, which is robotic process automation, is relating to a business process automation. So anything, when you add intelligence or AI or ML to your RPA, it becomes IPA, which is intelligent process automation. We all know about cloud computing, right? Cloud computing is the delivery of different services through the internet, which includes your data storage, your servers, your databases, your networkings, your softwares, right? It provides you an on-demand delivery of your IT resources over the internet with, pay-per-go, pay-per-use concept, right? So you as an entity or an organization do not need to buy, own, or maintain physical servers, hardware, or data warehouses, right? So you can go for a SaaS based application like Google Cloud, Azure, and AWS, and you can fulfill your hardware and software requirements. UI UX design, very, very important. As we are moving towards much more robust digital technology, it's important that your applications, your websites have a better user experience, which is user interaction and user experience design. And this itself is a vast, domain within itself. So that's what, briefly about the digital technology stack. Now let's understand that as a data scientist, if you are trying to accomplish this, what would be your learning path, or what would be your learning curvature, right? So first, you need to be very strong with core mathematics and fundamentals of maths and programming. Now, evidently in data science world, what we use is Python as the major language. R is the second language that is widely adopted, but Python, stays ahead, right? So first you need to have your core programming strong with fundamentals. Then you need to be good at statistics, okay? Followed by your machine learning, data visualization, right? And when you consider all these are done, then you need to increase the corpus of your data, right? And when you have huge amount of data, let's say I'm doing a machine learning exercise with 1 year of data, right? So that's normal machine learning. But let's say I have 30 years of data. Imagine the corpus of data or the size, right? That's where big data comes into picture. So your big data knowledge is very important. Then you have to understand data engineering, data ingestion part. What are the different tools that you need to use in order to accomplish all these, platforms, or what platforms, you should be learning about. And then finally, your data driven problem solving. So problem solving is one of the very important aspect in entire data scientist learning path. Okay. So these are, you can say different checkpoints that defines your roadmap. All right. If you look into the broader technology stack, and how data science technologies are defined, it's immense. It starts with Python, R as a language. It starts with HTML, JavaScript, Angular. Everything there is there. Now, when you talk about much more higher end data services, it goes with PySpark, Dask, database like MongoDB, MySQL, Kafka, Oracle for database. These are libraries for data related. Cloud related, for deployment of my applications, we have Azure, we have IBM Watson, we have AWS, we have Google Cloud, we have Docker, all those things, right? For data visualization, we have tools like Matplotlib, Pandas in Python. We talk about Tableau, Power BI, Quick, and other different data visualization platforms. When we talk about image processing, object detection, video analysis, sound analytics, we go into the deep learning part, which is the most advanced version of machine learning, where we talk about OpenAI, we talk about scikit-learn, TensorFlow, OpenCV, PyTorch, H2O. All right. And our normal data analytics can also be done in concepts like Excel, right? We consider Excel is the godfather of all analytics, where it's the basic foundation, right? And when we talk about interface design, UI UX, we have Python, we have Flask, we have Django, we have Angular, we have Firebase from Google, we have Node.js. So all these are different technology platform services that comprises of and helps you to effectively design a specific data science solution. Now let's understand what are the different roles that industry offers, right? So when you talk about data science or data scientist, your role into different organizations can be split into multiple aspects. You can be working as an ML engineer, data analyst, data engineer, machine learning researcher, normal data analyst, or you can be a data DevOps or an ML ops, where machine learning ops is the new concept into the market, where we try to deploy our solutions onto the server and it runs into production. So these are the different roles that gets offered for us, somebody who is looking into a core data science related job. You can be an AI researcher as well, in certain top firms like Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, right? So yep. So I think with this I'll quickly stop, and just try to see if there are any questions from anybody.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul. Probably I'll bring in Bob, so that Bob can speak of now how do you advance from here. Maybe most of our listeners would be undergraduate. How do you advance from here? Then opportunities available through the program. And Bob, if you can hear me, you can join us from here.
All right. Can you hear me, Makori?
Yes, I can.
All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in for this session. Thank you, Paul, for the presentation.
Yeah.
Now, well, for those who don't know me, I'm Bob Mwiti, and I'm the programs director of Tech America, the company that supports immigrants to find education and job opportunities here in the U.S. Paul is our official trainer for our program. We have a fantastic program called the Kenya Airlift program. And this is a program that we bring brilliant students to come and study IT related master's programs here in the US. And so basically what we do is we support the students in terms of, funding, and finding good schools, finding good programs for their masters. And then also part of what we do is what basically Paul just presented. We train students who are beneficiaries of the program on data science, and this is specifically on artificial intelligence and machine learning, basically what Paul tried to present to you. And also we help these students find work in the US. So so that's pretty what we do in a nutshell. Now, probably some of the questions that maybe some of you may be asking is whether for you to do data science, you have to have any maybe technical background like computer science or things like those. Well, now to get into this data science space, you first you need, I mean, you have to have some coding background in terms of what Paul mentioned as like something like Python, maybe R, but anybody can actually be able to do that. I mean, you don't have to have an undergraduate in in computer science or software engineering or anything like that. You can even actually have a business background, whatever kind of background that you have, as long as you're willing to get your hands dirty and get to know these Python R languages, then you can definitely be able to get into data science. Now, I know majority of those who are in this session are undergraduate students, since this presentation is being done to a university institution. And basically our programs, our Kenya Airlift program is for people like you. People want to go to the next level. People want to do their masters, people want to find opportunities elsewhere, because there's a lot of our, young people, the youth back in Kenya, they are struggling so much in terms of, finding work once they graduate from school. I don't know whether you guys know this, but I think we have about 100,000 graduates every year that's graduate from our institutions like you. Then there's not many jobs, that are out there to absorb everyone. So you really have to be smart about these things. You have to upskill your academic qualifications. Yeah. So for example, like right now, let's say you're doing maybe, I don't know, actuarial science, BCom, finance, economics, statistics. I mean, just having that may not be enough for you to land a very good, job, and especially if you really want to get into, data science, because there's so much demand for data scientists everywhere across the world, not just here in the US, but even in Kenya. Companies need people who can be able to manipulate data to make some sense for them to be able to make informed decisions. So there's so much demand, but you can only get into the industry as a data scientist, as a data analyst, if you have if you upskill your your I mean if you upgrade your skills. So I tend to see, even when I was in university sometimes back, more than 10 years ago, most of us would do our undergraduate and at the same time would try to do some CPAs, ACCAs. I did those as well when I was doing my undergraduate. But I want to encourage you, like, if you want to really get out there and get into data science, then go out there and get some data science skills. If you don't have any Python or background, just go out there and learn those first, right? That's fundamentals. Then after that, then now you can now get into nitty-gritties of data science. All right. So so as a company, what we do at Upstack America here in the US, we mostly do IT job skills training programs. We are based out of Tampa, Florida. That's where I also have been living here in Tampa for the last, since 2013, about 8 years ago. But I personally came to the US in 2009, and I came here as a master's student, then graduated, got into tech industry. Initially, I was in done accounting finance back in Kenya, but I realized that there was more opportunities in the tech space, and that's how I ended up joining tech space, got trained on IT skills, and here I am. So if you're out there and you really want to get into this space, there's a lot of opportunities out there for training. And that's really how you can get into the data science space, okay? Because what you have right now in your school, in whatever you are doing, is basically academic skill. You need to be trained on job skills. Okay, and that's really also how I was able to get into this IT industry, because initially I was struggling a little bit when I got here in the US, because I didn't have any IT. I mean, I didn't have any job skills. And after I got trained on Oracle system, that's how I became an Oracle consultant. And from then on, then I got into all these RPA and all that. So anyways, so we do IT job skills training programs on data science and robotics process automation. And Paul is the one who runs that program. He was is the one who runs the show. Also, those the same training programs that we normally run here in the US, we also offer them to those who are joining our Kenya Airlift program. Okay. Now, like I said, the Kenya Airlift program, it's a program for brilliant students who want to come and study IT-related master's programs here in the US. We source for funding in terms of your tuition fees, your school fees. It costs a lot of money to study here in the US for a master's program. About 5 million. We know that there's not many people out there who have that kind of money. So we do have lenders that we work with who offer unsecured international student loans. Also, we also do have in the program, we formed our own circle that supports the students' relocation expenses. So once you join the program, you don't really have to worry about where you're gonna get money for air tickets, money for immunizations, money for first month of rent and all that. So all those things are taken care of through the circle. Then now once the students are on these sites, we get them trained on this data science thing, and also we help them find work once they graduate from school. Okay, so that's how that Kenya Airlift program works. We've been featured on TV quite a few times. Probably a few of you might have seen us on TV. We also will also be having a story airing soon on Daring Abroad on NTV the end of this month. And even subsequent months, we're going to be having stories of some of our beneficiaries of the program. So you can watch that out. Now, in terms of the statistics of the program, we started in 2018. We've enrolled more than 500 students so far into the program. We're enrolling about 150 to 200 students a month currently in the program. We've been able to bring about 45 students to the US. We expect to bring this August about 100 students to the US. We have a few schools that we work with. One of them is University of Alabama in Huntsville, and mostly we support IT-related master's programs. Yeah, so anything to do with data science, business analytics, something like that. That's really what we support in the program. And you don't have to have an IT undergraduate. You can have any undergraduate, But as long as you scored at least a B in KCSE, the B in math, and you scored at least a second class division, it could be lower, but a strong lower, then you're good to get into the program. Okay. Now, having said that, I'm pretty sure there is questions that you guys may have, especially for Paul, and then of course also for me. So you can just maybe write in the chat, and I can share this with Paul and see what we can answer for you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bob and Paul. I'll want to give one of the students, Lavender from Multimedia, to just say hi and ask a question. Lavender was very instrumental in ensuring that we have this event. She's really been looking for me to ensure that we have speakers and this event happens. So Lavender, if you can hear us, you could say hi, then you proceed to ask your question and welcome students to ask questions.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Appstech America. Appstech America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.appstechamerica.com. Appstech America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you.
Oh, hi guys.
You can have your video on again.
Oh my God.
Hello, hi.
Yeah, hi. I'm Lavender. Thank you so much for agreeing to grace us with your to grace us with your presence in this program. And we look forward to learning a lot from you guys. Yeah, so my question right now is how many students do you guys pick per year for the program? Yeah, and for Paul, I'd like to know what are the things that I can do as a business student, or what are some of the things that I can learn to help me increase in knowledge in regard to data science? Yeah.
All right, good questions. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let me answer the first question. I think you asked how many students we have yearly on an yearly basis. Now, the Kenya Airlift program, we actually don't have a limit on the number of students that we accept. Because see, also the way the program works is, we need numbers, yeah. Because for the circle to support you with your relocation expenses loans as a student through the program, they usually get that money from the revolving fund, that comes from whatever students are contributing once they join the program. So we really don't have a limit on the number of students that we can enroll. Like I said earlier, we're enrolling about 150 to 200 students a month. It could even be thousands, no problem. In fact, actually, the US accepts around 1 million international students yearly. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of opportunities for someone to study here. So there's no limitation in terms of the numbers that we have, that we need. All you need to do is just have the right qualifications. You can reach out to us. We'll give the details of how you can get to us, and you'll be on your way to maybe coming to study in the US. Now, I think at this juncture, I can give Paul to answer the other question that you asked, and then also we can be reading the other questions that are coming through the chat for him. Thank you. Paul, please.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Bob. So I think with respect to learning, right? So let's say if you are into, you are into the university or college, you are doing your bachelor's or master's, right? So if you are into the business side of it, then probably, you need to first get started with, getting your hands dirty with data analytics first. Okay. So because any business analyst or any business administration today, I think they eventually have a course related to data, right? So that you get the understanding of the data driven decisions, what data exactly tells, and all the reportings also today's, are much more data driven, right? So what I would suggest is, very first thing, if you're going for a core development role, okay, if you want to be a data scientist where you want to solve complex business problems, then you need to, as I showed you the roadmap, right? So you need to start fundamentally with learning Python or R, but I would suggest Python because the scope of Python is very broader compared to R in data science. But yes, it's up to you or your requirement. If you can learn both, absolutely great, right? So start with learning Python, get your hands on Python concepts. Then you need to learn about the tools and libraries in Python that helps you to solve data science related problems, as I showed the technology stack, right? So you need to go by that. And even if you talk about the data science program that we have, we start from the scratch. We understand that someone is coming having not much data science background. So what we do is we start with very basic understandings of Python, 3 to 4 weeks of Python understanding, and then we go into the main curriculum where we talk about statistics, machine learning, data science, algorithms, and all other things. So long story short, the path would be to start understanding fundamentals of statistics, along with start learning Python. If you are working with any data visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau, ClickView, that's amazing, extra added advantage, right? And then you can jump into the next phase, which is the intermediate phase. And I hope that answers the question.
Yes, Paul, I wanted to answer the other question. One of the guys has asked, you said AI is one of the stacks in digital transformation. Is there a chance that one is going to replace human in terms of workforce? Is AI going to replace human beings?
See, that's a very tricky question to answer, and I think across the industry, all the experts, they say it's a dual, a majority of groups says that, but I don't think personally, because eventually AI robots or AI technology is created by humans, so there will not be any point of view or criteria where they can circumpass or supersede human power, right? So with respect to your learning, yes, if you talk about high-end technologies, like if you see about Google Maps, if you see Google products, if you see Apple iPhone, if you see Tesla, if you see the self-driving cars that are coming into the market, right? So these are the high-end drones that are getting utilized these days, or delivery robots that Amazon is trying to incorporate, right, for door-to-door delivery. So these are the extreme extent where AI is getting applied, okay, as a technology stack. But yes, eventually I don't think there will be a replacement of human, but it is rather to see that you are enriching human task. Like, let's say you are repeatedly doing certain things, right? What RPA does to you, RPA takes care of automating all your redundant legacy business processes that you have in your organization, right? So that you can be more faster, you can be more adaptive, less human error. So all these things are the benefits. So if you see, and if you Google also, I think there is science is always two aspects of it. So AI has a good aspect, AI might have a bad aspect. So it's up to you that which aspect you take into consideration. But I think AI is going to be a greater human invention in the upcoming days, and we would positively ensure that we are using AI for the good cause rather than creating harms.
Thank you. Then the other questions are for Bob. Bob, if you can see these questions, I don't know if you are here still. I have.
Yes, I am.
One question they're asking: can they pursue masters in computer science? Another one, let me just read their names so that we answer them one by one. We have a question from just a minute. We have a question from Polista Amol. He's asking whether you can pursue computer science. Then we have another question so that we can answer all of them. Is this opportunity for 4 years only? I think you can also mention the process of getting into the program. Then somebody is asking, what about general software development with multiple framework architecture? How would it be helpful? Then the other question is there other specialization other than data science and AI? Yeah, then Paul can come in to answer this other question. Bob, you can pick them. Yeah, okay. Then there's one more. They're asking if they are pursuing a diploma in computer science? Do they qualify for the program?
All right. Now I'll start with the first question, which was, can one pursue a master's in computer science? Now, in the Kenya Airlift program, we in terms of the master's courses that the students pursue, we support them to study IT related masters. Yeah, it could be computer science, it could be software engineering, it could be data science, it could be business analytics, it could be supply chain management, marketing and analytics and all that stuff, operations management. So as long as that program is, it's a program that is designated as a STEM program because it gives you up to 3 years of post-graduation work authorization in the US as a student, then you can do that. You can do that course. Now I'll get into details of how you can be able to get into the program and how you'll find the courses that you can study through our handbook. I'll get into that later on. But yes, you can pursue a master's in computer science through our Kenya Airlift program. But you see, also for you to pursue a master's in computer science, you need to have a techie background, yeah, like maybe information technology undergraduate or computer science undergraduate or anything like that. Now, the other question here is this opportunity for people who have finished their 4 years? I believe 4 years you mean the university level. We allow students to join into the Kenya Lift program, maybe even in their last year of college, before you graduate, you can still join, because that whole process of relocating to the US as a master's student usually takes about a whole year. Once you get into the program, there are some exams that you have to do. They take time for you to study for. There's an exam called Graduate Management Admissions Test, or GRE, either of that. Quite a heavy exam, test your IQ levels in terms of math and English. So yeah, so it's a whole year. So you can join the program when you're still in your 4th year. Before then, also we also want our students to be registering with the SACCO at some point in their college life, even in 2nd year, as early as 2nd year. But we are working on the system that will allow you to register with the SACCO and make contributions with the SACCO so that you can be part of the program. But for now, yeah, we are still allowing students to join the program even if they're in their 4th year. There's another question here. What about what about general software development knowledge with multiple framework architecture knowledge? How may it be helpful? Well, if you want to be in this industry, whether it's data science or maybe even robotics, anything to do with digital transformation, of course, it's always good to be well-rounded, yeah, to know other things apart from just what you're doing. So, for example, having knowledge of something like, for example, agile framework, of how software development is implemented, that helps a lot. In fact, actually part of what probably maybe you will learn if you join the Kenya Lift program and you go through our data science and robotics business analyst training programs, is some of these frameworks or methodologies that we utilize in software development lifecycle. So yeah, it's very, very helpful. I think the other question was, I would like to know, how about a person who is learning diploma in computer science? How can he get opportunities to study in the US? See, at the end of the day, the Kenya Airlift program, it's a program for brilliant students who want to come and study IT related masters programs in the US. And for you to study a master's program, you actually need a bachelor's degree. So if you don't have that, then unfortunately you can't join the Kenya Airlift program, or you can't really join a master's program in the US. So if you have a diploma, unless you have a diploma on the side and then you have another undergraduate degree, then that's fine. But if you don't have any undergraduate bachelor's degree, then you have to get one for you actually to be able to think of coming to study in the US through the Kenya Lift program. There's another question here. Is there any tech specialization apart from data science and AI? Well, through the Kenya Airlift program, like I said, we basically bring you to come and study for your masters here in the US. These masters, it's basically anything related to IT. It could be data science, it could be business analytics, it could be operations management, marketing analytics, or digital analytics, anything in that sort, yeah. But at the same time, the way the Kenya Lift program works is that we train you on the side as you pursue your masters on job skills. All right. So these are two separate things. So you go to school, you do your masters, which should be IT related. It does not necessarily data science, but at the same time, we train you on IT job skills. And this is on either data science, and this is on artificial intelligence and machine learning or robotics as a business analyst or as a developer. Okay, and that's really what Paul does in our company. So Paul is the one who runs those IT job skills training programs on data science and robotics process automation. Okay, so in essence, when you come through the Kenya Lift program, regardless of what you'll be doing for your undergraduate, for your masters, most likely you end up in terms of what you're going to be doing in your career once you graduate from with your masters here in the US, it's going to be related to what basically Paul will be training you. Like that's really what matters most, because the whole purpose of the Kenya Lift program is to find these brilliant Kenyans who are coming through the program, to find them work in corporate America. And we can only find them work that we normally do placements for. And we normally do placements for robotics and data science. That's really why we train on that. So most likely, even if you've done, let's say, for example, masters in operations management or project management, you will, because you'll have done our data science or robotics training on the side, you'll probably end up being one of that, either a data scientist or a business analyst in the space of robotics. I hope I've answered that question without confusing you more.
Yeah. So I think there was some.
Maybe Paul, you can take the other one. I think there's something.
Okay.
There's something about There's something, Paul, here. Someone is asking. I think AI and ML actually, in essence, creates more opportunities for professions as compared to reducing them. I think it's someone was adding on to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
So maybe Bob, you'd mention about scholarships at the end of this, and then the procedure. Maybe Paul, you can answer the other questions.
Yeah, let me just quickly see them. What was the other question?
There's someone here is asking about being a data analytics with the background in SQL, SPSS, or Power BI. How can one break into tech?
You answered
that, answer that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you are into SQL, Power BI, data science, all these are, fantastic domains that, you can easily get into. So that piece will actually make your road much easier. So let's say if you are coming from SQL, data science, and all other Power BI visualization domain, that means half of your job is done. So rest is you need to incorporate the technical skill sets that you need for learning data science related things that I was talking about in the technology stack. So that would eventually help you to do that.
I think there's someone else who is asking. Someone is asking, we always heard that data stolen. In future, how can we go about this?
I didn't get this question.
It says we've always heard that data has been stolen or something like that. In future, how do we go about it?
Okay. So so I think she's talking, the person is talking about the data getting stolen.
Could it be data privacy, and how do we keep the data safe?
Yeah. So see, if you're interested into going into data protection, right now, see, data science is not only applied into, let's say, any application or software development these days. Data science is also applied into domains like cybersecurity. Data protection, data privacies are also very important domains, and where data related job roles are very important. So if you are, let's say, into the cybersecurity domain, you can be a data scientist and your specialization can be into cybersecurity, where you develop data models to, identify network intrusions, if there is any malware attack. So all these, if you are able to defend, or solve rather, using data science and data related analysis, I think you again fit into there. So see, arc wise, it is all data science, but then domain wise, you can split it: data science in finance, data science in healthcare, data science in manufacturing. So every domain has its own application of data. And one thing that is very important is, with data science, or as data scientist, as you evolve, the more you need to get is domain experience. And that's very, very important in any market across the globe, because the data that you are going to deal with, okay, now let's say the data that Facebook generates is not similar to the data that Netflix generates, because both are into different platforms. Facebook is a social media giant, whereas Netflix is into entertainment. So Netflix would store data related to your, interest, what sort of movies you are watching, what is your favorite genre, and what are the languages that you prefer to see your movies, that kind of a data. Whereas Facebook is tracking your activities, where you are working, who are your peers, what are your friends, right? So domain wise, understanding a data is very important, because every data will not tell you the same story, right? So if you are into data privacy, data protection, yes, you can be a cybersecurity expert and still get into data science and work as a cybersecurity data scientist.
Good one, Paul. I think there is also someone asking, is there any connection between physics and computer science? Since this person is pursuing applied physics and computer, and is asking which is the best field to major in. So I don't have any tech background, so maybe that one is your question that you can answer.
Yeah, so if you're talking about physics and mathematics and applied science, yes. If you go into IoT, Internet of Things, okay, now there are multiple domains also under data science. Now let's say if you are working on a pure play data science role, that means you have, enormous data that gets generated. Your work is to take those data, process it, build models, and derive decisions, right? That's one. Now, when you go into IoT, Internet of Things, where your data is derived from sensors, let's say from self-driven cars, all these, and there you have the involvement of hardwares, right? There are certain things which I know where, certain companies are working on machine failure detection. Aircraft companies are trying to understand that, before a potential failure of my engine, can I detect it? So if you go into such kind of applied data science, where you have the, mechanical or automobile part of it, in that case, you need to understand physics, because if you don't understand physics, you will not understand an automobile data. Or if an engine of an aircraft is giving you a data, you need to understand what is ppm is, you need to understand what is horsepower is, so all these are physics driven, right? So in applied data science, in machine learning, into mechanical automobile, yes, I would say you would need physics.
And there is someone here asking, can C language be useful in data science?
See, data science does not use C typically, but whatever data we use Python is built up on C++ actually. So predominantly across industry, you will not see people using C as a script, programming language for Python, because of the robustness and terms of interpretability, because one line of code in Python is equivalent to at least 5-6 lines of code in C or C++. So majority of the coding with respect to any organization or firms that you talk about, it is done either in any SaaS based platform, or it is done using Python or R as a data science language. But yes, if you know C, it will help you to learn Python better, because everything is object oriented programming.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Paul. Now, I think these other questions are mine for now. Someone is asking, other than the degree, are there any other prerequisites for this program? I mean, the Kenya Lift program, there is no other, I mean, it's only degree and your your KCSE requirement. That's it. There's nothing else. The next question is, do you offer scholarships for students applying for the programs? Now, here's the thing, yeah. The way the Kenya Airlift program works is that we source for your funding, and this is a combination of both unsecured international student loans and graduate assistantship awards. Now, graduate assistantship awards are pretty much scholarships where schools pay part of your tuition fee. They may pay either full or partial. And also they give you a job to work on campus, maybe in the department that give you that that opportunity for the graduate assistantship award. Okay, so that's how our students are able to pay their school fees in terms of scholarship or graduate assistantship awards. So it's usually the schools that we work with that offer these. But also, I get this question a lot, yeah, about scholarships. I always tell students, like, no one will just dish out a scholarship to you or a graduate assistantship award to you. They are usually merit-based. So you have to do very well. Once someone joins our Kenya Airlift program, they have to do an exam, and GMAT exam. You have to do well. You have to have a very competitive score, because even when schools are giving out these scholarship or graduate assistantship awards, they look at how competitive your score is. So it's not just for anybody. Like, you have to do very well. And also, once you get to school, also maintain a certain GPA. So that's usually how you're able to benefit from any scholarship award that schools usually have. But yes, they are there, and a lot of our students actually use them. So the program, it's a combination of loans and graduate assistantship awards. That's how it works. Now, there's someone here concerning qualifications to pursue masters. Why can't you focus on the grades obtained in the university? For example, first class honor, CTC, rather than KCSE grades. Yeah, that's a good question. But actually, it's not just KCSE. We actually also even look at KCPE. Yeah. It might look like it's weird to be looking at all the way back when it's basically a master's program. But yeah, I mean, see, at the end of the day, there's a lot of universities out there, a lot of all kinds of degrees that people get. We've been in this industry for quite a while now. Tech industry, you really have to be smart. And for us to be able to make a well-informed decision on whether you are smart, because at the end of the day, the Kenya Airlift program is for brilliant Kenyans. It's not just for anybody. Unfortunately, it's not just for anyone out there on the street. So we somehow have to find a way of getting those brilliant ones. And we have to look at, all that. Now, for example, if you are not able to fit into the minimum requirements in terms of your KCSE, we still, there's other options that we have, alternative options. We call it the para program. So you can still benefit through the program. So yeah, I mean, we're able to accommodate you as long as you're, as long as you're smart. So yeah, so yeah, we look at KCSE, yes, it's a must. And also, even we go further and look at your KCPE as well. I think someone else is asking, can Paul please give a roadmap for data science for beginners? Paul?
We started
Yeah, so
okay. Paul.
yeah, so the roadmap that I have eventually shared is actually for beginners. It starts right from the scratch, where you do not have any background of data science. So as I have already answered this question before, you need to start learning about fundamentals of Python, get into it. Once you are done with an intermediate course of Python, you need to start understanding statistics and then go into machine learning and further ahead. So that's how you need to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think there's another question for you, Paula. If someone is pursuing computer technology as a course, how many other certifications should he or she have to be in a better side of the IT industry?
Okay, so I'm not sure what curriculum you are following in your current computer science program as a part of your bachelor's. So I think in every university in today's world, there are some or the other, topics that comes which falls under data science or AI. What I would suggest you is, if you want to do extra certification or courses, right? Probably you can get into, one of our programs where we start from scratch, and we teach you all the market related knowledge that you need to get into a data science program. So it's formulated as basics of Python, getting into statistics, machine learning, and inside machine learning we talk about beginners, intermediate, and advanced.
All right, thank you, Paul. Any other questions? Maybe I can hand over this back to Livingstone Macquarie.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul and Bob, for the good time you have had. We've really been able to understand more. I want to give this chance back to Steve. Steve, if you have something to comment about concerning the event, I believe we are done. I'll give the contact. Should you have any question, we'll also be able to come back to you with a feedback and then the contact information. So Steve, if you can hear me, and any word and final word before we conclude.
Okay, I think
okay, Steve.
Some two questions. No, I think there's some two questions they have been asked.
Okay, we'll answer them. Maybe you can finalize from your end, then we answer them.
Okay, for me, I would like just to thank you and Paul and Bob for they have totally did a very great thing for the students. We got to learn a lot about digital transformation and about the Kenya Airlift program. I hope more of the students will benefit from the program. I think that's all for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Lavender, if you can finally, as we conclude. Lavender, you here?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Livingstone. Yeah, thank you all for your time also, and thank you for Paul and Bob for coming and teaching us. I'm sure that the students who got to attend have learned a lot, and we'd love to invite you another time and ask you for your time another time to mentor us. Yeah, especially in the sector of business and IT, because we are open to learning and to interacting with you. And I hope that when we get to apply for the program, you'll consider us and that we'll have the right qualifications. Yeah. And to my fellow students, I'm also grateful for your attendance. And I ask that in future, when we have such programs, we can tag others and be ready to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me start by appreciating Paul and Bob for making their time. Again, I appreciate Steve and Lavender for the wonderful work they have done in organizing other students for this event. Thank you for keeping us in the office up to this time to just share with you. We love it. We like it when we share with students and get to learn. So I want to wish you all the best. Should you need to have more information, you can also reach us through our website, corporatecareeracademy.com. You can also write to us, skills@corporatecareeracademy.com. You can also send to us a WhatsApp message on 011-144-5250. 011-144-5250. Again, you can also go to our YouTube channel, the Corporate Career Academy. You'll be able to learn a lot of information other than whatever we have spoken in this field. You can also be able to learn a lot. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Corporate Career Academy. Learn more, go through the videos on CV writing, on other professions, on what's expected of you. Follow us as we go around and speak to other students and keep on learning. May you have a good evening. Thank you very much. Again, I've forgotten to mention Kevin Tuwei. Thank you very much for also being on standby to ensure we had this session. The management of Multimedia University, thank you very much for allowing your students to be in this session. We look forward to having even more greater sessions. May God bless you. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstack America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.